guy, it's either that or this guy was just like he was like super virgin, just super like first
pure blood.
Oh my!
He was coming. He came himself into a coma.
He did.
They told her that she had mutant powers, but actually the dude just came early,
and he was embarrassed.
And so he faked a heart attack. He faked a coma.
He came.
He faked a coma because he came in his pants when they kissed.
This dude just like flopped a jellyfish in his pants, and then he was embarrassed, so he lied about it. And he was like, "She must be a mutant."
Wait, but then
For 6 months, he's just laying in a hospital bed. Like every time he gets visitors, he's like,
dude, holy shit.
"Take it easy."
Well, hello and welcome to the Confused Breakfast. Do you remember the pure joy of a trip to the video rental store as a kid?
Yeah.
It's hard to beat the ease of the modern era and streaming platforms where you don't even have to leave your house, but there was something truly special about heading to Blockbuster, using your mutant powers to teleport through the front door, picking out a movie by hand, then teleporting out and not paying for it and watching it when you got home.
Nice.
On this podcast, we revisit and dissect some of our favorite childhood movies from that magical era to see if they still move us the way they did as kids. My name is Mike Schulte. Joining me as always, two dudes who aren't evil, they're just uninformed. Sean Pryor and AJ Venz, how the heck are you?
And is that more evil than you could ever imagine? Is
ignorance
not knowing? Yeah. Is ignorance
bliss?
Or
is it
the most evil act you could ever do?
I don't know.
Is not helping when you can help the worst thing you can do? Is that a thing? Let's take this a whole different direction today.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Let's
You're
talk
here for X-Men.
about moral. We got you in with X-Men. We're going to talk moral conundrums.
We're glad you came here. Our guest is Jordan Peterson, and we're going to
Peterson.
be talking moral conundrums.
You see a crash on the highway. Are you stopping just to look? Or are you stopping to help?
Well, I think that is the question, isn't it? And I think it's a deeper question than that, even.
No, it's very surface level question. Actually, you just answer yes or no.
Can we do a fake like where we have Jordan Peterson on the show? Because like that's pretty fucking good, dude. Okay.
I'm in.
Well, boys,
You're bloody ignorant.
bloody ignorant. On today's episode, we discuss a movie that held the record at the time of its release for the biggest opening weekend for a superhero movie ever, and was the 9th highest grossing movie of 2000, the only X-Men movie to be mostly an original story, with all other movies loosely based on specific stories from the comic books. We're, of course, talking about 2000's X-Men.
Whoa.
Well, damn dang it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for another nostalgic journey to the past with the Confused Breakfast. Sit back, relax, and enjoy wherever you are in the world. Take it away, boys.
Well, if you're new to the podcast, we're going to be reviewing X-Men scene by scene with a modern eye. But in order to do that properly, we got to talk about it first with nostalgia, because that's why you're here. You saw X-Men. You loved X-Men. We got to talk about it just from that point of view. AJ, let's start with you. First time you saw this movie and what your thoughts and ratings were.
I believe I got to see this in theaters. I was still pretty young when it came out, though. I would have been about 11 years old when this ended up coming out. I loved this when I was that. Dude, are you kidding me? You're bringing to life the X-Men cartoons. Now, I read some of the comics, but it was the X-Men cartoon for me was an absolute staple in the household. I loved the movie. I was so excited every single time. It was the genuine reaction that you get a lot of other like the super nerds who were just like, there he is, man. But I was like, Wolverine. Oh, man. Oh, neat. That's him. Oh, Rogue. Oh, wow. Oh, man. I loved it so much, man. I thought it was so cool. I was enthralled, and I think they did some amazing casting in it. I was just all in from the get. So I'll give this. Why not? Just drop this in at a nice old 9.7
9.6. Sean, what about you, man?
Yeah, saw it in the theaters. Was so fucking stoked for it. After we saw it, I was so like into Toad, but then like I was obviously into Wolverine too because I had seen the animated series as well. So I like kind of morphed them together. So I had claws, but I could also like jump far and like stick my tongue out.
Of course,
because I had a trampoline. So that's what I did with my friend Jordan's. We went and saw movies and we acted them out
on the trampoline. Yep.
Fucking fun. Fucking cool stuff. Loved it. 10.
Still do. 10 for Sean. Guys, I was a gigantic X-Men fan. I mean, get rid of Batman, Spider-Man, Marvel. You know, like I don't really care, but for some reason, X-Men was my jam. Animated series, I had a lot of, in particular, Wolverine comic books, a giant Wolverine fan. I'll never forget my buddy Dillavu. We heard about this coming out, and it was like immediately we were going opening night. I was in my senior year of high school, so we went, saw this opening night. It was so badass. Finally, they put to screen what I grew up loving. So 9.5 for me. We got to go to Josh Miller, executive producer today. He said, I was wildly excited for this movie well before it came out. There were so many comic book movies that came out before this. Excluding Batman and Superman movies, this was the first with the lesser-known characters. Most forget Blade, Spawn, the Dolph Lundgren version of The Punisher, and the multiple weird versions of Captain America. I was always a fan of comic book movies, and I loved the X-Men animated series cartoons growing up. Being so inundated with all the comic book movies, I don't remember a ton of this, and I have a hard time separating it from the sequels and spin-offs. All I know is Gambit wasn't in this, and he was one and still is one of my favorite characters. I was stoked to see him in Origins Wolverine. I think Taylor Klitsch could have done a great job, but I wasn't mad about Channing Tatum when he was attached and the movie was to be stuck in development hell. I was happy to see him get his time in Deadpool and Wolverine. While I thoroughly did enjoy it, I felt coming out of it was very generic version of the comic, but for a good reason. X-Men is popular within the comic reader universe and cartoon watchers. Most average people didn't know much. My nostalgic score is a 7.5. So friends, that is a 9.15 for us as a nostalgic rating, and that's going to plop it into the 5th position. That is just below Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, just above Dumb and Dumber is how we feel about this movie.
Damn.
So
love that.
Now we can forget all about it because, guys, this is not a nostalgia podcast. This is truly taking a look at movies with a modern eye and seeing if it's actually a good thing. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to strip it away. We're going to go to Sean for all the important details of the movie. Sean, what do you got on this
Produced by Ralph Winter, Lauren Scholler Donner, and Stan Lee. Story by Tom DeSanto and Brian Singer. Screenplay by Brian Singer. Cinematography by Newton Thomas Seigel. He also did Superman Returns, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, X-Men Days of Future Past, Apocalypse, The Five Bloods, Bohemian Rhapsody, and Mike Drive.
Ooh, one of my faves.
Music by Michael Kameron. This is going to be one of your faves as well, AJ. Lethal Weapon, Die Hard, Roadhouse, Last Action Hero, and The Iron Giant, which we will cover.
Thank you for all of those great things.
Directed by Brian Singer. Cast: Hugh Jackman, Huge Jacked Man, James Marsden, Halle Berry, Anna Paquin, Patrick Stewart, Ian McKellen, Famke Jensen, Tyler Mane, Ray Park, Rebecca Romaine, Bruce Davidson, and Shawn Ashmore. A treatment for an X-Men film was originally written in 1984 for Orion Pictures, but Orion was going through financial trouble, so that fell through. Then in 1989, there was talks that Coralco Pictures was going to make a film with James Cameron producing and Catherine Bigelow directing, but that fell through. In the 90s, X-Men, the animated series, was a big hit, and that got producer Lauren Donner to buy the rights for X-Men. After several script treatments and directors were considered, including Robert Rodriguez, Brian Singer turned in his script, which focused mainly on Wolverine and Rogue, stating that the themes around Rogue's character and the mutants in general, including prejudice and xenophobia. As far as casting went, Patrick Stewart was a first choice for Professor Xavier. Russell Crowe was approached to play Wolverine, but he suggested relatively unknown at the time actor Hugh Jackman. Oh. Janet Jackson was offered the role of Storm, but that went to Halle Berry. Jim Caviezel was cast as Cyclops, but he had to drop out due to scheduling conflicts with the movie Frequency, which is kind of a good movie. I like that movie.
Nice.
James Marsden took the role instead. Filming took place from September 1999 to March 2000, and the studio wanted the film to be a summer release rather than the projected summer or Christmas release. So this meant Singer had to turn the film in 6 months earlier than the original planned. During production, Bryan Singer would throw temper tantrums and show up late, and would eventually be accused of drug use and sexual misconduct with several actors. Comic book movies, let's forget about it. Comic book movies were going through a bit of a rough patch at the time, with Blade perhaps being the best of the bunch until X-Men was released on July 14th, 2000, and on a budget of $75 million. The film made $296.3 million at the box office, spawned a bunch of sequels, one-off films, and served as a launching pad for the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Did you hear your boy Jan de Bont was asked to direct this?
Nice.
And you know why he turned it down?
Speed?
Speed 2.
Speed 2. Cruise Control.
That's a good one.
Hey, man. Cinema.
Yeah, well, we got to go to AJ now. We got to learn the critics, fans, ratings, and reviews, all the things they think about it, because they're smart people.
It's true.
What do they got to say?
You actually go outside in these things? Well, what would you prefer? The tomato meter! Gross! Okay.
Right?
Yeah, man.
82% certified fresh.
Believe it or not, so that's all alone in the 70th spot. There are 69 movies that are higher rated than that of anything we've done. So not as good as Beetlejuice, but slightly better than Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, per the critics.
Okay.
Well, audiences were in full agreement. They gave it an 83%. And then this is a 7.3 on IMDb.
Of all the movies we've done, tied with these masterpieces: Big, Karate Kid, Point Break, Starship Troopers, Face Off, Men in Black.
Damn.
7.3 is a good movie.
Well, it's dang good stuff right there. David Edelstein from Slate, he said, gave it a 90 out of 100. He says it's a rich, impressive comic book fantasy. Easily the summer's best blockbuster. Let's see who else we got. Jay Hoberman of The Village Voice gave it an 80 out of 100. When it comes to stupid fun, X-Men could be the summer movie to beat. I think that's a compliment. And then we got the Chicago Tribune. Michael Wilmington has some sort of vendetta against this. He's not really into mutants. He doesn't like mutants. At 38 out of 100. This is the lowest one I could see on there. Superhero comic book movie with a script so feeble it might have been written in crayons. Got him.
Got them.
Well, I've got a couple of ones for you guys, okay? This is Rudy Can't Fail. This is May 6th of 2022. 1 out of 10. No. Just no.
I hate that so much.
You're going to love this
those
one.
Those comments are
we get
quite
comments
a bit.
like that all the time.
You're going to love this one, Mike. X-Men, released in 2000, is corny and plain dull. It is like a throwback to the 1980s movies. The special effects are lame. The storyline and music to go with it are just terrible. The acting, poor to say the least. My goodness, this is a shockingly bad movie. There is nothing entertaining about it. The producers of this movie are in a retro time warp, and it just does not work. The acting is as bad as the script. Oh dear, oh dear. Why was this film made? I just want to narrow in on his punctuation. Has Marvel movies tried to self-destruct with this pile of cinematic crap? 1 star out of 10, only because I can't give it a 0. Yeah.
Wow.
How about it, huh? I'll give you one more here. This is a 1 out of 10. I know it's been out a while, but I am still mad.
Much like people who watch Hard Ticket to Hawaii with us
Yeah.
the other night.
They're not going to forget that, Sean.
No.
That's right.
They're pretty pissed.
God
You
damn.
did give them an unforgettable experience.
You bet.
Wow.
And that's what you can get when you sign up for our Patreon and join us for our monthly watch-alongs.
Oh, right.
Sorry, AJ, back to you.
Hothead Liberty in 2010 said, okay, first of all, to Tall the reviewers that are claiming that this movie stayed true to its roots, you have clearly never read an X-Men comic.
Here we go.
Purist. This is the worst thing to ever happen to the title X-Men that I have ever seen.
No, that was Wolverine Origins.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
This movie was a disaster. Bryan Singer needs to be punished for what he created here. The only thing he got right was Patrick Stewart as Professor X. And yes, I blame Singer for the whole thing, because as the director, it was his responsibility to make choices and deny choices, which as far as I can tell, he did using a magic 8-ball.
As far as I can tell.
He put a period paragraph on that one.
Send it.
Satisfied. You know what else I got there? His punishment should be that he will be taken to an empty field and tied to the ground. Then all the world's X-Men fans will begin to stack their boxes of X-Men comics on top of him until we hear the pop.
I mean, we could all agree with that. Like, that was pretty, fine.
I mean, I guess I'd show up.
I mean, that's fine.
I don't think I still have my comics, but
I mean,
Okay,
no.
I got a few I could throw on there. But
I mean, I don't know. Maybe that'll be the rose that breaks the straw that breaks the camel's back. No, that's it for that, guys. Thank God. But we do have a little bit here in the Little Lebowski's Urban Achievers.
Patreon.com/confusedbreakfast, you guys. You sign up for any tier, you're going to get some cool stuff like live watch parties, bonus audio episodes. You got our whole backlog of all that. You get to vote on upcoming movies. But if you hit the top tier, Little Lebowski Urban Achievers, you get your review read on air.
Yeah, we'll bring you
in
on our podcast.
Yeah.
Okay.
Who joined in today, bro?
Mike Guiliano, he did have an extra note to add in here. Do you know what happens to a superhero franchise the first time it gets picked up by a major studio? The same thing that happens to every other one. A pretty decent origin story. 7.25 out of 10.
Right on, man.
Yeah. Let's see. Jared Layoff, he got back in here. This movie was everything. The X-Men have now come to life, and for all I knew, this was the future. Nostalgic 9.2 out of 10. Modern day 6.9. Andrea and I just watched this last week preparing for the episode. We found ourselves quoting yet critiquing, although Deadpool vs. Wolverine has drastically jaded us in how much we care for the movie. I want to punch Sabretooth.
His eyebrows.
Oh, my gosh. He's got a porn parody in here. It's a pretty good one. It's obvious. But, and he's got a Confusey for later on, Sean. So make sure to remember that for Jarrett. And then Walter Fielding. He was in here as well. Jumping in. I'll quote AJ from the Necessary Roughness episode. Some movies have to crawl so others can walk. And by the time Deadpool and Wolverine came out, fucking run. I saw this movie in theaters, and I remember when I was watching it, I was like, oh my God. I can't believe we're actually seeing this. Same, dude. 2.5 decades later and 100 superhero movies, it's definitely a little underwhelming. It's like wanting your kids to love New Hope and all they want to see is Baby Yoda. That's pretty solid.
Really good way to put it.
That's a really good way to put that. I like that. He gave it a nostalgic 9 and modern day 6.5.
All right, my dudes, in the wake of the release of Deadpool versus Wolverine and a whole new generation of people being turned on to the X-Men, let's travel back in time to 2000 to a movie that started it all, for better or for worse. This movie finally brought a live-action version of the X-Men to the big screen, and there wasn't a single nerd in the universe who wasn't pumped to see it. Here we go.
Damn.
So scene 1, in 1944, a 13-year-old boy is separated from his parents upon entry to a concentration camp. His anguish gives him special powers before he's knocked unconscious. In the present day, a girl named Rogue almost accidentally kills her boyfriend after they kiss due to her mutant powers. In Congress, Senator Robert Kelly debates Jean Grey about passing a mutant registration act. Magneto and Charles have a discussion about the future.
Okay, so I was so fucking stoked going to see this movie. You know, I got my friend Jordan. We're just like, we probably got the, we got the special cup that came with it or whatever we did. Got our snacks and stuff. We probably sat in front row. So stoked to see this movie. You know, you get Professor X talking in the beginning about mutation, how awesome it is, and how fucking cool that animation is in the intro. Yeah. And then concentration camp.
Oh, buzzkill. And there goes your nerd boners.
Yep.
I'll tell you what, though, it really roots it in like real life in a way. Like it's not like it seems more like a believable scenario that this is happening, kind of, that it's like, oh shit, here's an actual event that happened that, oh fuck, okay. Like, I don't know, it in a way, and I had actually never seen like a movie about Nazis, I guess, at this point in my life. So like it was maybe my first glimpse into like maybe what that's like. And it was just like, it's filmed really well because it's like black and white sort of.
It's like it's the 2000s version of black and white where it's blue and white.
Yeah.
Blue and white.
Like they just take the hue way down, you know. And
Did you like that or no?
Very much of the time.
Okay.
You know, like it. I don't know if I like it or dislike. I can't really say right now, but I mean, I would just choose to go black and white.
Yeah.
Even though like you're trying to get people into the movie, you know. And, like if it starts off black and white, they're like, "What the fuck?" You know.
Okay.
We see color today.
No, I think maybe that was a good choice then because it is great. It's got the. I mean, you could feel it. It's raining. It's gross. It's cold. It's just like there's no vibrance to it.
Yeah.
There's no color to this. It is just dreary and dead and like.
And their performances are really good too.
Dude,
Like, that the mom screaming is like actually terrifying.
Yeah. I don't like that at all.
This
really.
is the introduction. I think, like you said, I think it sets us up I do think it sets it up in a good way, because when you think about it, oftentimes, especially as a kid, you're just thinking like, oh, I bet mutants were like, they came around, that happened like 5 years ago, and then people started having mutant abilities. I like that they're like all the way back into the past.
It's been happening forever.
Like it's been happening for a long time, probably before anyone really realized it and whatnot. And this whole thing, it's kind of a harrowing kind of a scene, you know what I mean? And I think it works very well because it does set us up very well for like Magneto's just angst or his anger and why he's upset, and the parallels between what that was and then what we're getting into as this Mutant Registration Act. It's like that's the first step in getting rid of people. It's terrifying.
That's why I've always loved X-Men so much, is that there's like multi-tiers to this. There's the good guys, the X-Men, and then there's the villains, which generally are like humans, but then there's the villains, which are other mutants like Magneto. It's this weird like triangle of who's next, who are we talking about? I've always loved the story of X-Men, and I remember specifically being like, holy shit, that's how Magneto got his powers.
It's like like with the two X-Men factions, like diplomacy and war.
Yeah.
And then you have just regular people who are just scared of different things.
It's I don't know, it's so cool. And then obviously you meet Rogue here. I do want to, as we go along here, I want to bring up, as we first see each X-Men, like what your thoughts are on the casting of that. So, let's just get it out of the way. Charles Xavier, there's no one else.
Perfect.
There's
Correct.
in fact, I read that like that's the only way they were going to make this movie is if he signed on to it, right? Like, I mean, they're like, he's the one.
You see comics and you're like, is that Patrick Stewart? Even before this movie came out.
It's like reading the book after the movie and you just, in your head, you picture that guy. But let's talk about Rogue. Let's talk about Anna Paquin.
Academy Award winner.
Is she?
Yeah, she's like fucking 7 years old when she won for, I think it's the piano.
Youngest
ever, I think.
Well, what did you think about her in this movie?
I think she's okay. Yeah, I don't know.
It's a meh for me.
It's just okay.
She's not my Rogue. Like, and you got to start. I want to think about this as we're watching this for the first time. Rogue was always the animated series. Rogue was like older, very mature, very like she could fly. Like, this is just young girl Rogue, and it starts to bring in some of my problems with this. Is that they made this movie too much for the general public. There was no fan service really in this because Rogue, I read that they kind of combined Rogue and Jubilee into a character.
Right.
Even though Jubilee's at the school.
Yeah.
But they made her into this younger kid version that Wolverine's going to take under her belt.
Jubilee was more of that.
That's exactly what she was for the animated series. So, I don't know. Anna Paquin, I know she won an award. I don't know what it was, but she won an award for worst accent in a movie. I mean, rightfully so. It's a really bad Southern accent.
What was the show? True Blood? Is that what the other big one she was on? And it is like, unfortunately, like she has a Southern accent in this,
And
but
she
then
does
she
in the
doesn't keep it all
Really?
the time.
Oh, really?
I feel like she doesn't keep it all the time.
It's not pronounced enough for me to care.
Right.
I'm like, I don't care that she's Southern.
Because that's the way Rogue was. She was like, she kind of
was
had
a-
that Southern Belle voice
Yes,
to her,
exactly.
and that's what it was. And like it kind of, she kind of Kevin Costner's it, you know what I mean? It's like, like unlike other Robin Hoods, I can speak with an English accent. It's like, well, yeah, she's not really keeping it on. And,
Correct.
And so, and I don't know, like, I don't mind her in this role, but
I don't
it's
know
not
who would have
my-
played it, but
Right.
it's just they could have potentially gotten someone else.
yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm looking at it's you have to kind of compare it to like your X-Men that you read
Yes.
or that you saw. I get that, but I'm trying to be, I guess, objective about it, and still, I'm just like, it's whatever. It is our conduit for an audience to see the story through her, to get to Wolverine, to then see the story through him. That's pretty much what it is.
Yeah.
I mean, I saw this as a kid in theaters, but then like I kind of fell out of it, and then I think probably like after I kind of fell out of it, the only time I ever saw it again was in sex ed, and they played this scene and they said, "See, if you touch anybody,
Don't fly.
you're gonna fucking kill them."
You're
This
lying.
is
Yeah.
this
you
is
lying?
what
No. Yeah.
abstinence is the only path.
Do you want to die? Don't
Here we
touch
go.
a woman.
See, if they were married, it wouldn't have happened.
If they had gotten married under the eyes of the church, then everything would be fine.
Then it would be.
And if they did have sex, she would have got pregnant immediately.
That's right.
Oh.
In fact, no.
Well, see what happens is when you get married, the priest inserts his key into her vagina,
Yes.
which turns off the claws
Right.
that are inside the vagina. So then now you can put your penis in.
Correct.
That's what they taught all of us.
And they taught
Yeah.
you didn't learn that?
Yeah.
I think that's just how it goes. Yeah.
I mean,
This guy, it's either that or this guy was just like he was like super virgin, just super like first
Pure blood.
he was coming. He came himself into a coma.
he did.
They told her that she had mutant
dude-
powers, but actually the dude just came early.
And he was embarrassed.
And then and so he faked a heart attack. He faked a coma.
He came.
He faked a coma because he came in his pants when they kissed.
This dude just like flopped a jellyfish in his pants, and then he was embarrassed, so he lied about it. And he was like, "She must be a mutant."
Wait. But then
For 6 months, he's just laying in a hospital bed. Like every time anybody he gets visitors, he's like,
dude, holy shit. Actually, no. We are on something here because my question is that they say that emotional trauma
Yes. Yeah.
brings upon a mutant power, but what was the emotional trauma?
that's what I'm saying. Maybe she's like a lesbian.
No.
And that was a trauma?
Her being told that she had mutant powers, almost killing her boyfriend, was the emotional
Was the
trauma,
trauma.
that actually brought on the power.
Fucking men.
Oh,
You know,
Fucking man.
get it together.
Also,
dude.
yeah, her dad walks in and blames her right away. It's like, what the fuck?
What'd you do?
What did you do?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
That's amazing.
Just-
We can end this episode right
Touched
now.
these sweater puppies, and he just went catatonic. I don't know what happened.
Oh, okay. Well, then let's go on to Jean Grey. Then here, you're at this conference.
Yeah, let's do it.
Famke Janssen's my Jean Grey.
Oh yeah.
Sure, I don't care.
You don't care?
I don't have any other opinion. on
Oh
her.
man, no. That's when they announced her. I was like, yep, she's the one. Like I love Famke Janssen, and I think she's perfect as Jean Grey in this movie.
Okay.
You don't feel that way?
I mean, it's fine.
You're indifferent
I just don't care.
about Jean Grey,
No,
or just in
About who
like,
plays the character?
not really. No,
God, that is just such an important thing for me.
is it?
Who plays the
don't know.
character?
I think she's fine.
Do you feel that way about everyone or just her?
I mean, like the perfect casting, as we'll get to, like Professor X and obviously Wolverine. But anybody else, I'm just like, whatever.
Yeah. Okay.
Man, like I don't know why. I'm
I never
wondering
read
if
the comics and been like, oh, she's got to play her.
we used to like sit there and be like, who would play the X-Men if they made a movie? We used to talk about it. Like, who would do it? Who would be that person? I don't know. It could be this person. Wow. I
Her
wonder.
superpowers should have been killing dudes with her thighs. And then I would have been into it.
Oh,
Well, maybe it was. It wasn't Goldeneye.
Yeah, bro.
Die between the thighs.
Well, then you must feel something about Senator Kelly being.
Senator
He's
Kelly.
perfect as Senator Kelly. I couldn't imagine anybody else but this guy,
Fuck
man.
that guy,
Senator
man.
Kelly, he was my favorite action figure as a kid. He came with his own notes and like papers to shuffle in real time.
And
Yeah.
when you put him in the bathtub, he turned into some slime.
Yeah, he turned into Jellyfish
So
Man.
cool.
Yeah.
Who played Senator Kelly? Who was that?
That
Is he?
He's in a couple movies. Not a couple. He's in a lot. That is Bruce Davidson.
Bruce
Okay. What else did
Davidson.
he do?
He was in Lords of Salem from Rob Zombie. He was in a show. He was on Seinfeld. He was like
Oh shit, he was in. That's the most recent one I thought of. He was in Ozark. He was a senator in Ozark.
okay.
the TV
Plays
show.
senators.
Yeah, he's typecast as a senator.
We need a senator for this movie. Oh, let me call him.
I think.
Oh, he's available.
I think he just died recently. Actually, which
no.
kind of sucks.
Rip,
But
rip in peace, bro.
Is
Yeah,
it
it is.
from turning into water? Fuck.
yeah, I think that's what
yes.
cancer does.
Oh my god.
I'll tell you this. Speaking of some castings, I'm also. I mean, I know we're not quite to, but what do you think of Cyclops as? What's his name?
James Marsden.
James
James
Marsden.
Marsden.
Yeah.
I feel like he wasn't who I wanted to play it, but then after I saw him play it, I was like, fuck yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Because Cyclops, Scott Summers has a very uptightness to him and a kind of a
Yeah. He's got a Captain America vibe
Yes.
to him, but in like a not as aloof way.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. He's very by the book, very straight laced.
I
yes.
feel like
he's always been the leader kind of the
Yeah.
X-Men.
whoever you could get to play Johnny Cage, you could also get to play Cyclops.
Ooh.
Man, yeah, you're kind of right.
Interchangeable to me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. Well, then one last one in scene one. Then I mean Magneto.
Ian McKellen.
Ian McKellen.
I read, and correct me if I'm wrong, that they really needed him, and he was like, "Nah, I don't think so." And then I think they showed him more of the script. I think they showed him like his costume
was
they
the-
would wear,
the
like his
outfit.
helmet and stuff like that. And he was like, "All right, cool."
That's pretty sick.
Well,
He's pretty good at it.
and this is also when they were, it was going to conflict with Lord of the Rings. And
Oh
he
shit! They
he
delayed.
signed on.
Did they delay him in Lord of the Rings for this?
They like changed around the scheduling of the filming of this movie so he could then go to New Zealand to film Lord of the Rings. Because and I don't know if he would necessarily would have like dumped Lord of the Rings per se. I'm thinking like out of the two he probably was going to go and do that, but I'm glad that he got both.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know who else would have played that in this one.
Well,
Yeah, I don't
to be
know.
honest, Magneto, if the way I always thought of Magneto too was he was like not necessarily like an older guy, but sure he might have been the same age as like Charles Xavier, a little bit younger. But I always thought he was like a more like muscular, tough
Michael
guy.
Fassbender.
Yeah,
kinda thing.
much more of a Michael Fassbender than really like an Ian McKellen. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay. Cool.
But that's just me.
Yeah, I don't know. When I read the comics, I was like, oh, definitely, Christopher, damn, Pulp Fiction.
Walken
Christopher Walken.
Christopher Walken
could have played
Yeah.
Magneto.
Yeah.
Oh my
I bet the steel. I don't know.
That-
That is mostly a
gods
joke,
among
but like that's how
men.
interchangeable these guys are. To
Yeah.
me.
Okay. All right.
We're figuring it out.
That's a joke.
Well, let's do scene 2 then. So Rogue meets Wolverine at a Fight Club bar in Canada. She hitches a ride with him after he's kicked out of the bar by the owner. On the road, they're attacked by Sabretooth. Cyclops and Storm arrive and save them and bring them to the X-Men mansion where Professor Charles Xavier runs a school for gifted mutant students. Abducted by Mystique and Toad, Senator Kelly is brought to Magneto, who tests a mutation machine on Kelly. He manages to escape, but is now a mutant.
Now,
Have you guys seen have you, shut up for a sec. Have you seen Wolverine and Deadpool yet?
No.
Either of you?
yes.
Okay. Well, then I won't bring it up too much or whatever.
Yeah,
but
please don't.
You know what? Now you just said that, Mike. No. Then fine. I guess then I'll let you go, Sean, because I
Okay, so we're gonna put the
I'm gonna
edit in
stop.
right where he goes.
Mini-
right where he
I'm gonna
goes
stop.
now, and now.
Mini
now.
review of it? Are you trying to do like a mini review?
No,
right now?
not necessarily a mini review, but there's references to this movie that I wanted to.
Okay.
But that's fine.
Well, no, let's
Feel
get to
free
him.
to do
Let's
it.
get to him.
Okay.
Now this casting is unbelievable. This is the only thing that could ever happen with Hugh Jackman.
Yeah.
This is the Wolverine. He was born to play this role. I can see literally nobody else in this role. As soon as he is on screen, I'm like, yeah, that's Wolverine. I mean, he's the most popular character of the X-Men comics, right? That's who we all love. He's got the coolest fucking mutant power. It's just incredible.
But do we love Hugh Jackman's just because we love Wolverine so much and he's just a good actor? Because when you told me it was going to be Hugh Jackman, I'm like, whatever. You know, like I guess I can see it, but whatever. You know, like I didn't know who I wanted to play Wolverine, and I don't. And it's because of how good he is that I think he became Wolverine. You know, as opposed to like he was always going to be Wolverine. I just think he did such a good job that then we're like, fuck yes, you're Wolverine.
See, I think everybody else kind of became their role. In my opinion, like I'm just like, that's Wolverine.
Yeah.
I mean, even mannerisms, cigar, his attitude, you know, there's no other, there's there's like a 10 list of like perfect castings, and he's one of them.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He's maybe top 5.
I mean, for me, in my mind's eye, I guess I always saw it as Danny DeVito.
Sure, yeah,
But,
yeah.
You know, just a
Well, whatever.
ball of
Who
anger
listens to
just
me?
rolling out. Just like,
Well, and that's the thing. Like Wolverine is like really short in the comic. Like,
Yeah.
He's like 5 foot tall or something.
right, he's like
that.
5'3", and Hugh Jackman's 6'2". So that one's a little bit off, but at the same time, yeah. I mean, and he kind of had, you know, he was always portrayed in the cartoons having a little bit more like grouchy, gravelly voice, you know, that kind of thing, and almost like a Beetlejuice, Michael Keaton vibes. But like, there was also the point like Bob Hoskins was entertained to
but
do
that's
this.
what I mean.
Like you're saying, like,
I don't
what's
think Hugh
going on?
Jackman was necessarily a good choice for this. Is what I'm trying to say, because he's technically not like what Wolverine was about,
Right.
but he's so good at it that it just flipped everything we ever cared about and said, no, this is Wolverine. You know, like
you said, Sean,
he
became
morphed Wolverine into what we think of him now.
Yeah.
Just by his acting skills, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I never base any of this off of the comics or anything that I read. It was just this movie. Yeah, that's it. That's
I love
who you
this
got.
movie.
And that's kind of what happens, though, with a lot of these things, especially, you know, people get so dedicated to any sort of literature or like, you know, whatever came before a movie. It's just like the Harry Potter movies. It's like now, how do you see anybody other than like, you know, those three
Right.
as, you know, Harry, Ron, and Hermione. So it's like, it just becomes, and especially when you're
If
a
they do a
kid,
good enough job, it becomes that.
then you just believe that is them now. As a kid, that's just what you do, and I think for most viewers, that's
This is just the way to do it. If you're making the first X-Men movie and you're taking the most popular character of the X-Men universe and you're introducing him for the first time, it's like, this is what you do. This
Fight
is
Club.
so fucking awesome.
Do it.
I remember just like bursting out of my seats with excitement when this scene happened.
I know. You see his back is turned and stuff, and that big old bruiser's jumping into the ring, and you're just like, and
I'll fight him!
you're like, let's go.
And that shot where with the knuckle, and you hear the metal, and you're just like, this is so.
I thought when they were carrying the first guy out of the cage that his head was cut off. I was like, oh shit!
They're allowing this.
He'll kill. Anything goes.
Anything goes.
Anything
Don't
goes.
kick him in the balls.
Did you recognize the like the announcer in the ring at all?
I don't know.
So his name's Aaron Tager. He's been on the show before. He played Dr. Vink and Vibo the Clown in Are You Afraid of the Dark?
No. Oh.
Yeah. Dr. Vink. Remember Dr. Vink?
Dr. Vink.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Yes.
that was definitely him.
That was the
He's
same guy.
He's fantastic.
You know,
yeah.
I always saw him as more of a Professor X.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
And another, did you catch that other one? This is a fan service to everyone other than Sean. Everyone that's listening right now. That's like, talk more about the comics. The truck driver was the guy that drops Anna Paquin off. His name's George Booza. He was the actual voice of Beast in the X-Men animated series.
Hell yeah, nice.
Which is just fucking cool. Like, thank you for the fan service. You know, now that you know that, you hear his voice, you're like, oh fuck yeah, that's Beast.
Yeah.
From the animated series.
Nice
little tie in there.
Yeah, for sure. It was one of the things I think when you have a movie like this that comes along, you want everyone that you see in whether it be in the comics or on the cartoon. And like that was one of the big things, like they really held back on like giving us like Beast, giving us Nightcrawler, giving us, like Gambit, giving the other characters. And it set it up for later on, franchising them and bringing them in later. But that was the one thing I think I was missing. I was like, I don't care about Rogue as much. I want Nightcrawler.
But that's what they did. They made it more of like just a movie.
Yeah.
Because they even sort of gave Jean Grey qualities of Beast.
That's right. Yeah.
Like she was like this doctor, and she knew how to do medicine, which
Political.
which is what Beast did. So
Right.
they just sort of combined characters into one to just make the story happen. Because I don't think they knew what they had. I don't know if they
Right.
knew how many nerds were going to be popping in to be like, "Where's Beast?"
Yeah.
Well,
and I also think that they did say this was really the only one that they didn't base off of like
correct.
a source material.
This was
right?
they just came up with a story.
They were just like, let's just write a story for this, and then we'll just roll after that. If
Everything
it takes
else
off.
was going to be too expensive. I
Right,
think every
okay.
other like treatment that they described was just like, and then we get the robot guys, the
Sentinels.
the Sentinels.
Sentinels.
Oh,
and
shit,
then this
yeah,
thing
dude.
will come down and do this and create this huge fucking explosion. It's like no one's ever going to fund this. No one knows what the X-Men are. Like comic book nerds do, but not the general audience.
And
public.
this was the test. Like, let's see how this does. Let's see how many nerds come out. Let's see how many general public people.
It's like we tried this before with Punisher
Yeah.
and even Captain America. It's not worked.
Yep.
With Blade, kind of worked, and that's it.
Right.
But
okay.
you're talking about Hugh Jackman. I mean, the reason he's so perfect is not only his looks, but his delivery of the lines.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's talking to freaking Rogue, and she's like, you don't know her, you don't care. Pick one.
Yeah.
I saved your life. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No.
It's just so good, man. And like the interaction, the showing of his humanity, like he is a rough around the edges character, but he does have heart.
Yeah.
And that's what everybody loves about Wolverine. And the fact that he leaves her there, but he's like,
Dang it.
fuck.
The beef jerky he gives her looks so goddamn good.
I
It looks
know.
like the chaw that they have in the
In the
Sandlot.
cans,
Yeah.
dude.
It's like, oh.
Did you ever have the beef jerky cans
yeah.
that were like Chaws? Yeah, that's
yeah.
exactly what I
Yeah.
thought it was.
Like shovel it in their mouth. I'm like, God damn it.
Yeah.
that
And the
must
sound
taste so
design is
good.
like,
You
And from Wolverine, nonetheless.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you packed an entire can of that into your mouth, and that thing cost you like $4 too.
Yeah.
It was such a gimmick. But no, like I do like these interactions, and especially when he goes flying though too. You get that little moment of
funny.
What's that?
the funniness of
Yeah.
the like, put your seatbelt. I don't need a seatbelt.
Look, I don't need you to tell me.
Put your hands on the heater. No, put your hands on it. It's really cold. Oh, fuck!
Oh, fuck.
It was kind of fun.
It's very funny.
Why
know?
can't we get more of that? Yeah, why wouldn't we needed Ken Marino?
Yeah.
Should have been
Oh, he
Wolverine.
really should've.
Oh God!
I think he could have played it, man.
and then
could've
Joe
done it.
Latrulio could have been Rogue.
You're stallion.
You're stunning, man. Come on.
Like
man.
50 or 60 babes.
Sabretooth, Tyler Mane is Sabretooth. I kind of really like him. Supposed to be Kevin Nash. Like he was up for it, but he wanted to do. I just think he turned it down. Tyler Mane's also a wrestler,
Right,
wrestler, but he's also Michael Myers in the Rob Zombie Halloween movies.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I mean it's cool. It's cool to see him here, and it was cool to see him back in the Wolverine and Deadpool.
Oh,
Yeah.
shit. Okay, damn.
Yeah, I guess it's been out.
It was what I wanted to say.
I had a baby 2 weeks ago. The movie came out 2 weeks ago.
It's
okay?
very minor.
Look,
It's a
time
very
marches
minor
on,
thing.
Michael.
Well, I do want to comment on that, though. Like, him in this movie is kind of an F for me. Just the portrayal of Sabretooth in this, because I was much more a fan of, like, the Liev Schreiber version. That only came in probably, the Origins one,
He
I
was
think.
in the Origins,
which is
and-
not a great movie.
Man, I
But
thought he was
not, but-
Gambit in that movie.
no, he was Sabretooth.
Who was Gambit?
Oh, geez, I'll tell you here.
probably
You don't
some-
care.
It was probably some like French actor.
Yeah, now you care about.
It was
we'll
that
tell him who it
Taylor
is. He'll be like, yeah,
Taylor
I could take it or leave it.
Wasn't that Taylor Klitsch? Taylor. What's his name?
Here it is.
Klitsch?
Remy the Bow. Taylor Kitsch
Kitsch.
played the.
You're right.
Remy
I
the
don't
Bow.
give a shit. Who that
See
is.
why you
You don't
asking,
even
man?
care. You're just trying to distract us. All right. Right. So no, but the Sabretooth, I'm in agreement with you. I'm actually kind of bummed because I feel like he just didn't get a lot of lines. And
Not at all.
they didn't really give him much to like chew on or anything. It was just, we just need your presence. And I don't know, it felt a little throwaway for me. And that's the other thing is like, we also get a lot of other things brought up into the other movies that this doesn't even attach to at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's fine. And again, we're looking at this from like the movie, right? Maybe not the series, or how do you guys do that? I mean,
I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah.
Because it relates to everything. You know, I know that Sabretooth and Wolverine have like the coolest rivalry in the entire comic,
Right.
you know?
Right.
And it's just kind of nothing here. I mean, like, we get towards the end and Sabretooth dies.
Yeah.
And so, like, you don't even get the chance of, like, the sequel maybe doing it better, you know?
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, then you get Wolverine taken back to the, Cyclops and Storm show up. They defeat Sabretooth. They take him back there. And then again, that's where...
The whole action scene happens.
Well,
It's whatever.
I'm not here for the action. I'm here for the character development.
I'm here for the politics, okay?
I'm here for Wolverine speaking lines.
Yeah.
And when he says, what do they call you, wheels? Because, like, put yourself in the position of being like, oh, come on into our room here. This is Sean Pryor. We call him glasses. This is AJ Venz. We call him hats. It's like, wait, what the fuck are we talking about? It's a weird...
We call him hats because he's got a hat.
Oh.
Really? Check it out. Sean's got glasses on. We call him glasses.
That's a
That's why
creative
they call
nickname.
me that.
That's a creative nickname.
Did you hear
got
what
there.
the line was supposed to be, though? That Hugh Jackman improvised that? It was supposed to be, what do they call you, Baldy?
Oh, Baldy.
And he said, what do they call you, wheels?
Did Patrick Stewart be like, no, sir. We're not doing that line.
It's a little bit tough, but okay.
I'm Sir Patrick Stewart.
Sir Wheels.
Yes, that's Sir Wheels to you, dickhead.
He's like, I like their little interaction here though. He said, well, hey, I'm Charles Xavier. Welcome to this building. It's like, would you like some breakfast? It's like, no. What am I doing here? No, I don't want. No, I just tried to escape. I almost broke that lady's neck.
Oh, yeah.
I'm trying to get out of here, and then I find myself here with you, the guy in the wheelchair,
Who's been talking to me telepathy.
Correct.
Wise. Yeah.
And I've heard you in my head. I thought it was an intercom. It's not.
It's like, where are you going?
Yeah.
He's over there. He's over there.
He's over there. He's over there.
Are you ready?
What are you doing?
Mind freak.
Don't watch out! Don't stub your toe. I told you.
I told you. Saw it coming. We've been trying to fix that for weeks.
damn it.
Handyman's coming.
I like the commercial pretty much that they pretty much pitches him. It's like Professor X is explaining like the mutant school,
Yep.
and it's like that whole montage. It just seems like a commercial for the school.
Yeah.
Kids playing
It
around.
really
Yeah.
does, man.
Jean Grey lifting the clay pigeons, and Cyclops, shooting them and stuff.
It's like a summer camp
It might as well
commercial.
end with like a group shot of them being like, "We're here to mutant for you."
Yeah. Make sure it's like August admissions begin now.
Sturdy Wings X-Men summer camp. Wouldn't this be the fucking worst? Like, high school sucked anyway because of how cliquey things were, and you got the jocks. This school, imagine now you've got all these kids that are clicking anyway, but then they also have fucking powers, and you're gonna have fire and ice battles and shit, and like in the middle of class, like it would be the most annoying school to ever be in.
It would be worse than having to deal with, like, as a teacher, than dealing with like cell phones in there
Yes.
or something. And it's then now all we need like David Krumholtz showing Rogue around. It's like, don't mess with those guys. Those are the elementals. All right, they don't play with anybody other than themselves. Okay. These guys, those are the mind freaks. Very weird guys. Okay,
Stay away from them.
And then he walks past again, and it's like, oh yeah, these are the animal types. Yesterday I was their god. It's just like what is going on? And by the way, if you're like in this school, kids are doing stuff. There's no way that they're not being like pinned. It's like obvious. It's like, okay, it's not like they're going to go around and be like, who froze the doorknobs again? Bobby, looking at you.
Bobby.
That wasn't me, I swear.
I swear.
Oh.
Rogue stole my powers, and then you did it.
And he's like, welcome to Mutant High, and he puts like that like
Ice cube
flower thing on it, but then it's like, what if it's just like a dick?
Well, even then, even like as a rose, just like, thanks.
Yeah, what do you
It's
do?
just gonna melt on my books.
It's like, I'm going to put that in my backpack. It's like, well, it's like other flowers. They also die.
Yeah,
so I
that's
figured,
true.
Whatever, right?
But this does speak to like where Bryan Singer definitely took it the wrong way, in my opinion, because like there was supposed to be, they already made the idea to show here's Jubilee and here's Kitty Pryde, and like the nerds in us are like, oh fuck, I remember like, oh yeah. Apparently Gambit was supposed to be there, and he was supposed to be a student playing with a basketball and then like blowing it up during that kind of infomercial thing.
Yeah.
And Bryan Singer said the audience wouldn't understand it. They'd be like, and I quote, people would be like, what's wrong with those basketballs? And so they cut it out. But it's like,
This is X-Men.
this is X-Men. We just saw a dude start fire and a girl run through a door. Like, they have powers.
Like,
What's up with that dude's fist?
yeah,
Why does knives come out?
What's up with the knives?
that's stupid.
Yeah, and that's a problem that I think a lot of people have
Whatever.
with anything. Whatever. That's a problem people have with X-Men in general over the last 20 years is that Gambit's like everybody's second favorite character.
Yeah, it's true.
I didn't know that until recently.
Yeah. And everybody loved Gambit, and it's just like he never gets anything. Like he never gets Gambit in any of these movies except for the worst one.
I know.
I don't know.
It's just, it's like it's frustrating. It's you want, like I say, it just seemed like a missed opportunity because then after this, you're going to incorporate these characters in some way, shape, or form. Other characters are going to be changed and recast. It's just, it really does become like a little bit haphazard after this, which is why I guess I do like this story. I do like that it's we're getting into this idea of Magneto's transferring powers. We're not going back to the classic experimentation and injections into people. So I do like that. I think that there was just so many missed opportunities to have so many more good characters introduced and really, as you say, serve the fandom. You know what I mean?
They would have had to have made it longer. This is a pretty brisk,
It
like
is.
hour and 45 minutes where anything after this was beyond 2 hours. And you start adding more characters to this with lines and backstories. It's like, we're not getting very far.
Yeah. You can't just jump into it like they did on the animated series.
Yeah.
Like for a huge audience like this, like that's a pretty niche thing if you're going to be watching kids and nerds,
Yeah.
For these movies, you're going to have to, introduce them and like build them up a little bit for us to care.
Yeah. Maybe that's what I would just rather think of like Sabretooth like that is every time he's about to talk, they just talk over him or they move on. It's just like, so what happened to the other mutant? Doesn't matter.
It's the way to do it.
We have to move on. It's like, we don't have time for your dialogue.
They're talking about Logan and he's like, he's entirely made of metal. Why do you think Magneto would want him? The guy that's made out of metal. Maybe.
It's like, is an easy target?
Well,
I don't know. Oh, weird. Huh?
Maybe you could like control him or... There's so many options
There's
with a guy
so
made
many
of
things
metal.
we could do.
He's literally a puppet master for this man, and like he could basically just do what Charles does to everybody else, except he's got a absolute berserker on his hands.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, why wouldn't you want him? Turns out they don't.
And what about the Senator Kelly scene here? I kind of like that this is where you get introduced to Mystique in a way. They steal him, they take him back, and then that's the plot of the movie of this machine that's going to turn everybody into mutants. And I didn't care at the time. I was just like, that's fine, whatever. But looking back on it, it's just kind of a weak plot.
Yeah.
It's just because Magneto, like, I don't know, he doesn't have to do this, like it's just a weak. He becomes like this weird Bond villain all of a sudden, it's Magneto. Just like he becomes, well, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna do this crazy plot and see if it works. I don't know. We built this machine.
I'll give the movie this, that it does seem just like an issue of X-Men. You know what I mean? Whereas just like it is one plot throughout, and it seems like an animated series episode. Where Magneto, what's Magneto
This
getting
time.
up to this
Yes.
time? You know, oh, he's trying to turn the entire world into mutants. Well, we got to stop that. It does seem like kind of serialized like that. It's not like a like now we just have multiverse and universes, and this character can come here and do all this. It's like, there seems to be like no limit to it, which is this just seems like a concise story, and I like that.
That is true.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't mind it. I honestly wish it was a little bit more fleshed out.
Sure,
because
definitely that
because it does seem. Seems a little trite, him just like, I have this machine now, and the machine.
So I bought this island too.
Yes,
I own this island. No one comes here.
Well, and that's the other thing is we're talking about the good versus evil. It's not like it's a secret where Charles Xavier is at and all his mutants are at. It's a public address.
Yes.
It's a public school. Oh, Professor Xavier's School for Gifted Youngsters. I wonder who's there.
They get mail. They have to have food deliveries.
That's what I'm saying. Like, if Facebook's coming around, they've got their own page.
Yeah, like one of the kids accidentally searched like, what should I do with my mutant powers? How do I tell my friends about my mutant powers? Now the whole school is getting spammed with like, here, what mutant pills, hone your mutant abilities.
Right?
Like,
they're
just getting spammed with everything.
Their algorithms are really screwed.
Are messed up.
But that is the thing. Like, I wonder if like Yelp has it like at a 4.4 for schools. You know what I mean? It's like, I tried to go here and everyone was really weird. They wouldn't accept my son because they said he wasn't gifted enough. It's like he was just a human.
He just had autism. I know you can't consider that. I just don't know.
No, that's not a mutation.
Well, I mean, the gene, okay, never mind. It's fine.
Jean Grey?
Technically, it is a mutation.
I guess these effects on the Senator Kelly they're fine. I like Ian McKellen's faces that he makes.
Yeah.
They're just funny to me.
Yeah.
It's like an upshot. He's like, it's just comical.
It's like Frankenstein's monsters.
Yeah.
But no, I just this part doesn't seem very, like you said, Mike. It does seem, I get it now, which I'm bummed because I was liking it. Now you're
it's fine. It's not that I don't like it. It's just that this is where the excitement starts to wear off a little bit. You're like, okay, can we get back to like a Wolverine scene or something?
Honestly,
or like,
and that's the thing with X-Men. To me, it always felt this way. It always felt like there was a lot of like interrelationship sitcom stuff going on, and it wasn't as much action. With the X-Men, it was a lot of dealing with their problems.
Yeah.
And I know origin stories can get caught up in that, but that was the way X-Men always felt to me, even in the cartoon. I always felt that way. It's like more Sentinel fighting and less,
drama,
less Scott and Wolverine and Jean Grey love triangle.
Yeah,
please.
that's true.
That'd be great.
Well, scene 3. So after an accident causes Rogue to use her powers on Wolverine, she runs away from the school. Wolverine finds Rogue at a train station, but a fight ensues with Magneto. Arriving at Xavier's school, Senator Kelly succumbs to the mutant radiation. Xavier attempts to use Cerebro to locate Rogue, but falls into a coma. Jean Grey uses it to find Magneto's machine on Liberty Island. I think we should have done that last scene, but I'd like to talk about Mystique and Toad.
Oh, yeah.
Let's start on Mystique. I mean, this was definitely the first time you're going like, oh, wow. Okay,
all right.
This is what we're doing with Mystique, huh?
Cool, man.
Maybe I like blue people.
Where James Cameron's like, oh.
Hey,
I would have done that. Yeah, right.
And is
Let's fuck each other's hair.
Rebecca Romaine Stamos is a bit of an unknown. Like, she's not an actress, but I think she's just a model at this point.
Okay.
And, I mean, dude, what she went through... I would be so hesitant if I was an actor and this some role like this comes around where they're like, yeah, it's gonna be 10 hours in the chair of putting on this paint and prosthetics and
even that's barely gonna cover you.
It's wild, man. But I remember thinking like, all right, good choice. Like it worked for me when I first saw this, and it still does. I think
it looks phenomenal.
Yeah,
still.
Yeah, it looks great. It is like, man, it sounds like a torture test of like all the stuff they're going through. And they even said like, hey, you can't drink wine, you can't do this, you can't go up in a plane. You can't like you couldn't do certain things because they're like it could change your body chemistry and these prosthetics won't stick to you. And you're just like she was just like sequestered away in like in a different room and was kept separate from the cast. She was like
that sounds terrible.
It was just like because they wanted to be like a surprise, like a shock almost to even the other cast members. I don't know. It just sounds like a nightmare. And a lot of the makeup and like other stuff, all the contact lenses that were going into people's eyes. It just sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Those look very striking still. Like whenever there's a close-up of her, or even like in the background, those glow. They just glow and they stand out so much and they're creepy.
Yes.
You know, or like that's how you can tell like she's imitating somebody.
Yep.
You know, I think that's a really cool touch.
The only thing I didn't like about her, I think she only had one line. I don't know if I ever remembered anything else, but it had that dumbass, like, multi-voiced effect to it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, she's like, leave me alone. But it's like, leave me alone. Like, multiple voice. I can impersonate anyone.
Oh, neato.
Like, I don't remember that ever being a thing, and I don't think they ever stuck with that at all.
No.
That was just this movie.
Yeah.
That was the only thing I really didn't like about the choice of Mystique, but otherwise, like...
Dude, Magneto and her fuck.
I mean,
is that a...
He
You
did
think
have
so?
some. He did have like blue smudges on his trousers at one point. He's just coming back out. He's like, what? Oh Jesus!
Would you like being like married to a Mystique where you could be like, hey babe, tonight I'm thinking Rebecca Romaine Stamos.
How about
Hey.
maybe some Uma Thurman?
Hey,
Taking
tonight
role play to a whole nother
yeah,
level
listen,
here.
tonight I want to see if I like dudes.
Well,
Yeah.
Can you do Brad Pitt for me?
Let's go Brad Pitt tonight.
You know what? Just wow me. Let's go all or nothing here. Let's just do one try. Give me your best. Yeah, Brad Pitt's pretty good.
Surprise
Fight Club
me.
Brad Pitt. That's
Hey,
yeah.
tonight I want to fuck myself. Can you do that? I want to see what it's like.
She's like, tonight, can you just surprise me? Like, just come in the room and I just won't know who it is until I just see it.
Until we turn the lights on.
She turns the lights on. Rhea Perlman. Just to fuck with him.
Or did you say Ron Perlman?
Rhea
Rhea.
Perlman.
Oh, Rita Perlman.
Hey
Okay.
man, I like Rhea Perlman.
Yeah.
Perlman.
I just like to think it's never mind. Fuck it.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, Toad. Many people know Toad as his name is Ray Park. Many people know him. His two most famous things: he was Darth Maul in
that's
Phantom Menace,
right.
or
Yeah.
not Phantom Menace, yeah. And he was guitar player for Limp Bizkit. A lot of people didn't know that.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Wes Borland. Yeah, that's his alter ego name.
Yeah.
It looks just like him.
Yeah,
This
when
is-
he's on
what?
stage, he usually wears like kind of more high
Yeah.
platform shoes, so
Yeah.
he looks a little taller. But yeah, Limp Bizkit guitar player.
Yep.
This is no, he's not.
Just look at him. It's
Look
Wes Borland.
at him.
He looks exactly like him.
I like how he's just like spray painting stuff. He's just doing art projects, or is he putting the finishing? Like, he's like, well, hey, your big mutant Ray came in, but they didn't paint it. He's like, well, can you take care of it? Yeah, we want it to be in chrome color, really diabolical colors.
Kind of fun.
here.
It came incomplete, so you could do it yourself.
Yeah,
It's kind of one of those fun projects they give you, like an IKEA thing. You know, I think it was literally just an excuse for him to have those goggles on.
Yes,
I
I
think
think
so.
that's
Like
what it
a
was,
frog.
man.
Yes.
I don't ever remember a Toad character at all in the comic book or the animated series.
Either.
Did they just make this up?
It was like later on, I think I remember seeing Toad in the cartoon or something, but yeah, that was it. I don't remember.
But you said you very much liked this.
Yeah, I don't know. For some reason, it was just cool. I mean, I don't think as a kid I knew that was also Darth Maul, but everybody loved
yes.
Darth Maul too, and I still do. It's fucking sick.
That dude's incredible.
I don't know. It's just like the way that he acted, and like I liked stunt performers the most in watching movies. So I just liked him doing martial arts stuff as well. So that's why I liked him.
Yeah, it was kind of he had some cool moments, but also kind of unforgettable or forgettable in the most part. Like of just the character of Toad in this one, because you never see him again. What about Bobby? What about Iceman? Do we like who's the dude that plays Bobby?
Sean Ashmore.
Okay, do we like him?
Fine.
Yeah.
You gonna ask Sean again?
No, this Sean knows. I'm trying to get him at some point.
Scene. No, he's a Sean. He's an on.
At some point, it's going to be awesome because he's going to be like, "No, I really want to talk about this character."
It's come and gone. It's Wolverine.
This whole scene's funny to me because even though it is Mystique, that is like fucking with Rogue. Like, because we skipped it. We'll go back to it. Rogue has almost killed Wolverine and taken his powers.
Yeah, he almost killed her too. So
that's what I'm saying.
I think they're even.
This is so fucking stupid to me that like you never use your mutant powers against another mutant.
Yeah,
it's like she was fucking dying, and the fact that even though this is Mystique, like, wouldn't another student just be like, "Oh, hey, Rogue, how are you?" She walked past everybody, and they're all not mad at her. They're all like, "Oh my god, I can't believe you almost died. Is everything okay?"
Everyone is freaked out. Professor X is furious. I don't know what he's gonna do with you. Hey, Rogue, how you doing? Good to see you. We'll see you in class.
Pretty clutch move there. Yeah. That was sick.
Hey, I heard Wolverine's okay, and you're okay. Like, that's fucking amazing.
Looks like it all worked out.
That guy must be a real pussy. He can't even kill you or anything. Yeah, so I'll see you later. You're a badass. See, everyone's pissed.
Oh, hey, by the way, your mom came by, said your ex-boyfriend's out of his coma, so everything's good.
As Mystique, she's like, fuck.
She's like, God damn it,
son, what the fuck? You have friends already?
And what if she was just like, oh, hey, will you make me another one of those like ice roses? And she's like,
yeah. Yep, I can.
I'll make it for you.
She's got a Yeti behind her, and she's like,
it's just a regular ice cube.
She's like, okay, I'll be right back. And just runs into the kitchen and just gets the fucking ice. Sorry, this one's not as good as the last one.
Yeah,
it was a rush job.
That's just funny to me. But that, what did you think about the scene with her and Wolverine there though? Before that,
I mean, it's scary. It was freaky as shit. I mean, even like seeing just like the claws through her thing, but the effect that they have when she is like sucking people, when she's doing that to people,
it looks good, man.
It's really like, ugh.
And
yeah. It's really effective. It's like, ugh.
I like both their performance actually in this moment, very much so. Yeah, I mean when she's giving like mystical dome, essentially, like, that's what's happening to everybody.
She's gaining powers.
Yeah, just sucking souls out of people and just.
That's what a ZJ is.
Yeah. We've all had one, man. We've all had one,
Yeah, but
guy stuff.
But man, we're guys.
These flashbacks though of Wolverine was like the scariest thing for me though, because I think that happens in the second one when he actually goes through the process of getting his adamantium in there. That's the most terrifying thing that they've ever done in any of these X-Men movies, of that thought that him in that thing and he's getting a metal, and like I love that they touched on it in this one so that hopefully later they could get into the actual scene of it. That might have been Origins. I don't remember.
I think
what
it was Origins.
Yeah,
because up to in that one he's just bone and he can regenerate.
Oh, fuck. There are a few scenes in Origin where you're like, yep, and that is one of them. I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, I think Deadpool came from the same thing.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the original Deadpool, I think, right?
Yeah, when he meets him in that movie, right? That's one, right?
Yeah.
I think so.
Because he's got like the black marks, Wolverine does.
He meets the Wade. Origins Wolverine. Yeah, it's him, but it's the worst version ever of Deadpool.
Correct. Yes, and it's very funny because in Deadpool 2, I think that's when they.
Right.
Like he meets up with him. Have you seen Deadpool 2?
I think so.
Okay, because I'm pretty sure he kills that version of him or something. It's good.
Oh man, and I always joke about this. I know we haven't talked about this in a long time, but how we've always wanted to be like, I don't want to be an actor. I don't want to be a Hugh Jackman, but I want to be
a Jack Human.
And I don't even want to be like a B level actor. I want to be like the C level guy. And every once in a while, I'll see a movie where I'm like, oh, I wish I could have played that part. Like, I want to be a kid that was in when he starts using Cerebro and it's going, it's finding. I want to just be a kid that's like eating an ice cream cone. Yeah. And just goes, like, where he's trying to find mutants. Like, that's the kind of role I want, where people are like, what'd you do? I'm like, oh, I was in the new X-Men movie. They're like, really? Oh yeah, I was in the Cerebro Dream where the kid is eating an ice cream cone. That was me.
Nice, man.
That's what I wanted so bad.
It's.
That's what I wanted, man.
No, I know. I think it's that. I want that for you, and then I want Sean to be another mutant who's like pulling out like a nudie mag, and it's just like he's just blazing. They have no privacy from this man.
He pulls it out and he looks over his shoulder at the closed door and like,
and then at the camera,
because like he's like got this comic book
that's
that
your
he's
mutant
pulling
power,
out,
and then you know when he's looking at you.
He closes the door like with his powers or something, draws the shades in. There's no like. Can you imagine all the things that this man is hearing in this school? Come on, that's terrible. This is terrible. That's terrible.
Well, even like too when Rogue is gone, they come up to Xavier and they're just like, "Where's Rogue?" He's like, "She's gone." You don't have to be a psychic person who can tell like the future, or, like can feel this kind of shit. Who has mutant powers in general to take social cues, Professor X?
Yeah.
Like that's just like, where's Rogue? She's not here.
Yeah.
So she's probably gone.
Oh.
Wait,
She's
no, we're
gone.
asking
we fucking
you.
know.
We're coming to you to ask you where she is because she's gone.
Oh.
You know how you're...
Oh no. Okay, yeah, I don't know where she is.
It's
No
like,
idea.
I mean, that is basically the equivalent of all of us having like a smartphone and be like, I wonder who this was in this movie. And it's like we could Google it. But he's Professor Google. Yeah, it's like he's got location
Professor
on
Zoogle?
everybody.
Professor
Exugle.
Exugle.
It's like that's what he can do. He's got location on for everyone, and he could know exactly. You're right, Sean. It's like, no, we know, asshole.
No, we got it.
But they cut that out of the movie where they're like, oh fuck, he's doing it again.
He's like,
God damn it.
He's like, it's like he does this on purpose. He wants us to ask.
He wants to feel useful.
God, he's so pretentious about it.
Are they gonna ask?
He's like,
he knew 30 minutes ago that she left. And so he's like, any minute now they're going to find out.
How many times in a conversation do you think that guy says
Go ahead, ask me.
that?
Fuck, dude, Cyclops, you do it.
It's like, how often do they come around and like they say like, oh no, Rogue's gone. She's not here and she's not over there. And then he just chimes in, I know. Why'd you say that?
Professor.
Well, I didn't want to just like jump in. I didn't want to. I thought we'd keep it interesting. You're a dick.
You're a dick, Professor X.
Also, Patrick Stewart has like the easiest role to play in this. He's like, you mean I'm playing someone who is fairly stoic when he's talked to, and also talks inside of people's minds. So sometimes I don't even have to say lines, and I get to sit the entire time. And then he's like even out of the movie for a portion.
Oh
of it.
yeah,
he's got it easy in this.
yeah.
movie.
He doesn't go to the final battle. Yeah, because he's in a coma.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, I'm Charles Xavier.
Yes.
Yes. That's for overdubbing.
Yes.
Right.
We'll overdub that later.
All right, cut. Good job,
Good
Patrick.
job,
Sir
Patrick.
Patrick, everybody.
Man.
That's a wrap on Sir Patrick.
Wow.
Unbelievable performance.
We had to hire him because everybody said if we didn't, they would boycott the
He
show.
looks just like him.
He looks
you know?
just like him.
So all he gets to do is just sit there and kind of smile with his eyes, and then you've got James Marsden who cannot do anything with his eyes. Poor guy.
Very true, man.
I mean, you think about that, like actors.
He's got beautiful eyes too.
and they, yeah, exactly.
He does.
I mean, let's say it.
He's just
have you seen him?
Oh man, yes, we've got no, but that's the funny thing. He's like, yes, I got cast in the X-Men. It's like, cool, that's awesome. Who is it? Cyclops.
Oh, you're the one that nobody
Oh.
really likes. Oh no!
I'm not even gonna see my eyes.
God, you see him in the Notebook? He was very sexy in that. Jeez.
I know.
Well, scene 4, the group arrives at the top of the statue and defeats
Ryan Gosling.
Toad and Mystique, but are incapacitated by Magneto and Sabretooth.
Magneto.
Poor name. And as Magneto transfers his powers to Rogue, who's forced to use them to start the machine, Wolverine breaks free and is able to break the machine. Rogue appears to die, but recovers using Wolverine's regenerative powers.
Okay.
What?
There is one that I would love to talk about.
Okay.
Casting, and I'll ask AJ this time. Storm, Halle Berry.
I like Storm, but it's a different take on Storm.
Okay.
Because Storm in like the cartoons, if that's what you decide to go off of, she feels like she's older than what Halle Berry is being portrayed as, right? But I also love Halle Berry in this, and I think she does become the Storm that like I was kind of longing for at that point. Like later on in the movies, as more movies are coming out.
I wonder if it's her take on it, because there's that fucking famous line of do you know what happens to toads when they're struck by lightning? Same thing as everything else.
It's the fucking worst.
It's so bad. And did you hear, like, apparently they wanted her, they were like directing her to read it more comically, like, haha, yeah, and she like refused to. She's like, no, I'm going to be serious about this. And that's a Halle Berry thing. And that's maybe my problem on the rewatch on this, is she just is very
I think she's sleepwalking her way through this entire fucking movie.
Where was she at in her career at this point? Was she pretty
Swordfish
famous?
is coming up probably. Like that already happened something. But it's around here. I don't know, man. Like I thought she was the worst part of this.
She was preparing for Catwoman. That's what she was doing.
Yeah.
And
I just think, I think she's just kind of a character.
I'm totally with you,
and Storm's fucking badass.
Yes,
you know? But I really just think that she's just like, okay.
I mean, that's one of the worst lines in film history.
You guys are right. Like looking back at this, I think I was still like at the point of like, no, like I'm still enjoying this. Like I loved it. Like when this movie really started out, and like when I was doing the rewatch and everything, I was like, man, I'm really in. Like I'm in.
A 10.
Like this is great so far. And like you're right, there are just some lackluster moments. I don't think she really has much great chemistry with anybody going through this that really kicks off. I think that she is there because I think she's beautiful and it's somewhat of a name to add to this movie. You know what I mean? And like I say, later on, I think she gets better in these movies, but you're kind of right. I'm thinking about the thing in the subway, the train station.
Yeah.
And her fight in the train station and her getting like caught by Sabretooth or whatever. I'm like, even that was kind of lackluster.
It's just like, I don't know if like the character itself, maybe you guys can elaborate, like with the comics or even the animated series, is just that stoic, but
I guess kind of, but not really.
I don't know. It like, punch it up. You're on camera.
Yes.
You're Halle Berry. Punch it up a little bit, you know. I don't know.
So,
and even the wig is bad.
Oh, yeah. So interestingly enough, Sean, I mean, she did have a lot of credits to her name, but nothing that I really recognize until X-Men. And then it is Swordfish, Monsters Ball, Die Another Day, X2, Gothica, Catwoman, Robots, Perfect Strangers. Like, she just went on a run after this. So maybe we didn't really know much about her at that point. Maybe she was just... maybe she was just coming into herself.
Isn't Storm supposed to have like a African accent as well?
Yes, she was like definitely an African, like South African kind of.
Barely there.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not a fan of it.
I'm with you on that one
but
for sure.
One thing that for like that line was supposed to be funny. I think they could have done that with the senator's death. Like that would have been. I think it'd been funny where like, Senator. Well, I hate to burst your bubble. Don't go leaking any valuable information. Hey, man, with you soaking wet, you really have some sick flow. Hey, hang in there, man. Hope floats. A couple more. Senator, this mutant stuff isn't for you. Just stick to your rivers and the lakes that you're used to. Because that's probably a popular song.
I think that would have come out by now. Yeah, I think people would like that
stuff. Yeah. Oh, that was it though.
Okay.
Yeah. That would have. I think I would have liked Storm a lot better at that point.
Yeah.
Instead, she was like, same thing as anything else. And didn't she come in and she goes, he's gone.
He's gone.
Senator Kelly is dead.
Did you tell him the jokes?
He's just like,
yeah, no.
Scott and Jeter like, did you tell him the jokes we practiced last night? She's like, no.
How? So, like, Jean's also kind of like, at this point, you know, you're right. Professor, he's going to say, I know. Jean's she also has some telekinetic powers, so she's also probably going to be like, yeah, I figured. And then, like,
I wasn't quite sure, but.
And then you have Then
Yeah, I
you've
had
got
a feeling.
and Storm is the one who walked in and said he's dead, and you've got Sky's just like, why am I always the last to fucking know? It sucks being your guys' friends, you know.
There are some weird
sucks,
dynamics.
All right,
There's no transparency.
he's like,
You guys aren't truthful with me at all.
It's like, oh, come on, Scott. It's not that hard to see. It's like, he's like, you guys suck.
Let's go 4 eyes. I mean, sorry. One eye.
One eye.
You got to go to the Jarrett Layoff Confused Breakfast actor database. Nothing crazy to report here. A lot of twos. Did you catch the D.B. Sweeney cameo? D.B. Sweeney, of course, in Cutting Edge. This is his second role. Apparently, he was a huge X-Men fan, and he just wanted to be a part of it. So he was the police officer on the shore going like this to the guy in the boat.
Okay.
That Sabretooth comes up from behind
Oh.
and very, like, it's hard to tell it's him, but it's definitely D.B. Sweeney.
Nice.
Other than that, you got Stan Lee making a cameo on the beach.
On the beach, yeah.
That's his second. And then I want to throw this out there. This is the mansion. The Xavier School mansion is the same that was used in Billy Madison.
Nice.
That's right.
So that will keep that in mind when we do Billy Madison.
yeah.
Mansion's coming back for a second time, baby.
yeah.
Dude, when they are arriving to the Ellis Island, Toad just fucking crushes that dude. Like the sound and everything is just like that dude is
Did he crush
flattened.
him? Did he
I don't know,
flatten
it was
him?
brutal. Like even Sabretooth, like he's clawed the guy in the back and he's dead.
Yeah.
D.B. Sweeney himself.
Yeah. It's even he was probably like, Jesus.
Jesus, fuck. Oh, you're a dick,
God.
bro. Did you practice that on the trampoline?
Oh, you bet I did. Along with my Matrix jumps, dude. Yeah, it was all that.
He was
With the
wearing
trench
the
coat?
jacket.
Yep.
Oh,
wearing the trench
Do you
coat.
think he did have it on?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
yeah, dude.
I do love the Cyclops and Wolverine dynamic though. This is where it really, like, you almost feel a respect between them in the form of them making fun of each other, because this is when you get like the middle finger on the claw.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want you to keep your one eye open or keep one eye open or
Yeah.
whatever. And that scene, I think it's the best part of the entire movie when they get the Mystique and Wolverine and there's two Wolverines. Hold it. Prove it's you. And he goes, you're a dick. All right, cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Boom.
that's fucking funny. That is a really great dynamic between these two that develops during these fight scenes, you know?
I was
Yeah.
watching a little bit of behind the scenes of this, and this fight, the choreography of the fight, which I really liked. I agree with you. I think this is it's a fight scene, so
Yeah.
it's the coolest part of the movie. But Kyuhei Kwan was doing some
What?
choreography for the fight, and just in
Oh,
on
like
set
the
in the
Mystique,
background,
like the Mystique Wolverine
specifically with that. Yeah.
What?
Like there's footage of him just like kind of like directing Hugh Jackman and Rebecca Romaine. I was like, oh shit. That's fucking awesome. So just shout out. So does he get a
Does that
Jarrett layoff? He wasn't in the movie.
He
I
wasn't
guess.
in it, yeah. But that's just such a cool choice to have her become Wolverine, and you've got two fighting each other, and then you've got the ability to show that even though she has the claws, they're not real claws, because he fucking slices them off. She goes, ah,
yeah.
you know, like, was that a part of her body technically?
I know.
You know, there's a lot of interesting questions of how Mystique works, because technically she got stabbed by Wolverine in the claws. You know, should that have taken some of her skin off,
Like,
or
what if they just fall off and they just turn into just like blue things, just like blue.
It was part of her
pieces
skin,
yeah.
dude. See,
It just like you're right. It's how does she get to make claws that don't exist for her? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
And if she
It's
were,
awesome.
If she were to impersonate Cyclops, would she get the glasses,
I think
or
so.
would she just be like blasting?
No, I don't think
Eyes
she can
wide
technically blast. Like she wouldn't have the power of
She wouldn't have
blast.
the
She would just
power.
look like him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because she didn't have Wolverine's like any of his powers. She just looked like him.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a pretty
She
dope
couldn't-
ass power.
She couldn't make flour ice cubes, right?
yeah, remember she
As
couldn't make
Bobby.
that. She
That's
couldn't make
right,
the ice
She
that's
had
cream.
to
Right.
get those from the freezer.
Yeah.
In the kitchen.
You got to get those
Yeah.
specially made by Hy-Vee Floral.
She's got them in a
She's
bag.
going back
yeah,
to.
just like,
She's prepared the second time she goes back to
It's
school.
like,
Like, I got
now
it.
I know. Now I know what I
Did
got to
they bring
do.
that fucker Bobby? God damn.
Damn it, son of a
Fucking Bobby every time.
fucking
motherfucker.
Bobby. fucking Bobby.
It's a cool scene. I mean, I think that Storm being beat up by Toad is a little bit like, really? Toad?
Toad.
Really? I don't know. I mean, Ray Park for sure.
Oh,
but,
yeah. The
like
toad?
the exit of Toad. Obviously, we talked about the line is just kind of like, what the fuck ever.
It's the laziest line. Like,
It is, and like maybe cinema history is just like.
the same as everything else.
I don't remember feeling anything about it the first time I saw it, though.
No.
I think I was just in the moment of, wow, they're doing it. But
At that point, you're just like,
yeah.
as a
They're
kid.
like, get out of here, Toad. Anyway, what else is happening?
I'm still thinking about the fact they had the X-Wing jet. And I'm like, oh, my
Yeah.
God, this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, if they got anything to pick up our jet, then they were. It's like,
But yet the next scene, it goes, and it just goes right past them.
Also, they have all the like the summit meeting or whatever
Yeah.
with all like the what do you call it?
The world
United
leaders.
Nations thing, and a mile away probably or something like whatever. Storm is making storms come like every 5 minutes, and they're just like, God damn. These storms are freaky tonight, huh?
this weather is.
Man, it just keeps coming.
Man,
And
wasn't there a
coming.
bunch of fog like 10 minutes ago, too?
Yeah, it was weird. Should we cancel this?
I don't know. We got those fireworks.
Inc-
There's
Inclement.
lightning.
Inclement weather. I mean, we're inside, aren't we? We're not in. No, okay. Well,
There's lightning. No, it's gone. It's gone.
yeah,
And then like 5 minutes later, there's lightning.
What
Yeah.
the fuck?
guys.
Does anybody else feel like their hairs are standing up from like magnetism or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
Yeah.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
Yes,
The speech is great.
Man, he's killing it up there, but I don't know.
All right, final scene. So Professor Xavier recovers from his coma. The group learns after seeing Mystique impersonating Senator Kelly on a news broadcast that she's still alive. Logan says goodbye to Rogue in an attempt to help him learn more about his past. Xavier sends Wolverine to a military base near Alkali Lake, and Xavier visits Magneto in a plastic prison cell.
So the Sabretooth and Wolverine fight, I think, is decent. The effect of the claw on the like the crown
Where
thing,
he goes around it.
yeah, it was so cool.
Yeah.
Like in the trailer, it doesn't really hold up anymore. But still, like the performance of Hugh Jackman is still the best. And I think that this set piece is just like even too.
The idea of it is just kind of
Like
yeah.
and like
Liberty,
Alfred
freedom.
Hitchcock did it better than this.
Yeah.
Like for a Statue of Liberty fight.
Yeah.
You know?
Ghostbusters did it better.
Yeah, yeah.
Think about it.
They got a pretty good Liberty fight. Yeah, Statue of Liberty
Well,
fight.
if you remember the did anybody move on to watch the second one after this?
No, I might tonight.
I was kind of thinking the same thing, but most will tell you that the second one is a better movie.
It's right here. Yeah.
And I think I would agree, except for you're gonna see it. They did a lot more CGI claw stuff for Wolverine, and it's bad. It's not good. Which is a praise for this one, that everything feels great and
Yeah, it
believable about what they did with Wolverine's claws. But man, the second one, there's the scene where he's going, and it's just like.
yeah,
It looks like the sword from Roger Rabbit. Like that's kind of what it looks like. You're like, this is not my claws. from Wolverine.
At least you're right. In this one, it was pretty much all practical,
great.
and it was good. And they said they had a lot of different types of claws. They had hundreds of different claws that they were using throughout this movie for whatever reason.
Yep.
And I thought it was always really good. And you know, especially that the first few times that they come out.
In the bar when he's like in
Yeah.
the one claw, like, oh,
It's so sick.
oh, it's so
when
cool.
he's got full control over them individually, that's something you never really thought about as
Yeah.
a kid almost. And like, I like that they kind of play that up.
They did. I don't remember that happening from like the comic books or the animated series where they touch on the fact that it hurts every time they come out.
And I thought that was one of the greatest points. Does it hurt when they come out? Every time.
Because it's literally breaking his skin every time they come out, and you're like,
Yeah, he can regenerate, but he does get hurt.
it still hurts,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
It's cool to think about.
It still hurts. Ugh.
Yeah, I do love. I don't know if you guys caught on to the. There was a lot about this in like facts you missed, things you missed about this chess scene at the end too, about the symbology of that. If you remember, symbology. That you've got Xavier and Magneto playing chess, and it sort of mirrors their. It's supposed to be a mirror of what their personalities are like and their strategies are. Magneto's basically sacrificing all of his pawns, the cheapest, most throwaway pieces of his game for the sake of his ability to like win the game. But yet Xavier plays more of a protective, like he doesn't want to lose any pieces. And you see that shot. All of Magneto's pieces are over there, and nothing of Professor X's. I like that. I don't think you're going to pick up on that unless somebody tells you.
It's cool. Yeah.
You're going to pick on it, but it's a nice way to go about it and say, here's a cool thing that we're going to move on.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Destined to do it for a long time, you know, and they've been doing it for a long time. Is what it really feels. I don't know. I do like it. I like number 2 was good. And
it starts
I do want
off
to watch
like
it.
he breaks out of that prison, right?
Yeah, well, it kind of starts out with like him back in there, and I think
that's a cool scene.
yeah, and that's when we have
what's his
Brian, what's his name, as Striker, I think,
Yep.
right? And yeah, so it's pretty good. I do like number 2. I think it set us up very well, like this kind of an ending. I don't know. Everything about it kind of wraps up just fine, and I think when I saw it originally, I was excited for the next thing, but I also was like, okay.
We all were, man. We all left the theater back in the day going, fuck yes.
I got to get to my tramp right
You're
now.
just like,
I have to work on that move.
I have to start doing my toad jumps. Yeah, you're right.
Goddamn right.
Did you hear Michael Jackson wanted to play Professor X?
Oh, no.
Yeah, he reached out and was like, I should play that character, and everybody was like,
I think I should have the school with the children.
yep. School with the children. Yeah. That's why you wanted to play the role.
Please, Mr. Brian
God.
Singer.
Mr. Brian Singer?
Please.
Checks out.
Another weird thing, too, James Marsden apparently got a lifetime supply of Oakley sunglasses.
Nice.
Because Oakley made that, like, the more public-facing red glasses that he had, they were, like, actually Oakley's, I guess, and they were like...
I thought I wanted to smash his glasses until the dude on the beach with the lotion. Dude, they're, like, paper thin. They're just like...
Yeah.
Douche.
I do have a prop.
Ooh, here's a prop.
It's always been this. It's Cyclops' goggles. Because as a kid, I always thought that's how he shot the lasers. So...
Oh,
not that he just had the powers. I thought,
okay.
Yeah.
You want the goggles or the Oakley glasses?
I want his goggles.
Okay.
Yeah, because I feel like they probably help, especially in like traffic and stuff. You know, helps me see better.
It increases your vision a little bit. Yeah.
Helps you focus.
Let's go with Wolverine cigars.
Nice.
Whatever.
You're
like
a cigar
he's
guy now?
got. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
I want on our table. I want those mechanical balls that
Nice.
Magneto's doing back and forth without anything attached. Because because I think it actually made me think this time around that he's clearly making those work while he's in the room. You know, is that like a practice thing for him, where he's got to work on his ability to control things in the background?
Right.
Like that's an interesting way to think about him working on honing his power, not focusing on it, but making it happen and using like little bandwidth to make it work.
He's got ADD.
He totally does. He totally
that's
does.
just all it is. Like he's just, I'm working on my multitasking. It's like,
Yes,
what are you talking
He's
about?
got to practice.
Yeah, I got to practice this, man.
Gotta
It reminds me
practice.
of that scene where he stops a bullet like spinning on that dude's forehead.
Oh, dude.
We didn't talk about that.
The yell that dude lets out is so funny.
Today was my last day.
Like all those, you Homo sapiens and your guns, and it's just like, yeah, you kind of got America in a nutshell here, right? So like, what's going on here? It's like, but he turns them all on there. It's kind of a scary thing.
Dude, that whole scene's incredible.
Yeah.
Like that's frightening.
It's like this. It's a strange kind of a standoff, you know, that between him and Charles, and him saying, "You want to try it again? I don't think I could stop all of them. Do you want to go again?" It's like that guy's got a shotgun point blank at his dome.
He's
You're
got-
like, ooh.
But also, Professor X has control of Sabretooth and Toad right now.
Yep.
Why doesn't he just take off the helmet?
Well, yeah.
Well, could he have controlled him, Magneto?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
But it's something about like the weaker the minded the person, like he can control them. But like if they're like, a very talented mental type of person. I don't think he can control him.
Okay.
He could he could see what he was thinking, but I don't think he can control him.
Okay.
But I never thought about that.
It's like
Just take the helmet
you
off.
got
Instead of
you got him.
instead of grabbing him by the neck, like Sabretooth's just like kunk.
Ah, bitch.
Nerd. Get out of here, nerd.
Get out of here, nerd. We got to do porn name. There's an obvious one. Jarrett Layoff came up with triple X-Men.
Yep.
XXX-Men.
Also, you could do Sex Men.
Sex Men.
Yeah, Sex Men. I mean,
Yeah.
that's pretty obvious here.
Yep. Sex Men.
Sex Men, yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's really it. I think that's all the further you can go with it.
That nope. Yep. I had one. It went away. Yep. Well, boys, anything else you want to talk about on this flick?
That is it.
AJ, we've stripped away all the nostalgia. We've talked about it modern day. We got to know what your modern day rating of this movie is. What do you got, bruv?
Man, I was actually coming in here a little bit stronger than maybe what I'm about to be.
Uh-oh.
But you're right. There are some flaws. Like I didn't realize how hard it was for me to actually kind of strip away some of that for me now. Like I was still watching it with the nostalgia glasses on. Man, you're right. Some of the performances are a little bit thin, and some of the plot points are also just not quite fleshed out enough. But I do have to think about what this movie was doing for comic book movies. I mean, and I will say, like I said, when I watched this open up, and that initial opening, and then it goes over. I mean, I was in. I was in for it. So. Man, that's tough. I think I still gotta give its justice here. I want to say, man, you can't get better than Hugh Jackman in this too. I mean, that was just iconic. So, and it set us up good for the next one. So I will say this. All that aside, it's come down for sure. I will give this a 7.1.
7.1 for the age. Sean, what about you, buddy?
Yeah, I think it's fun. Like I said, I do like how it's pretty short. These movies now can go fucking 3 hours, and it's the bane of my existence, man. I can't do it.
How long was Wolverine Deadpool?
Almost there. Almost there.
2
for me. Yeah.
2 hours.
Yeah, I'm just not the biggest comic book movie fan unless it is like a rated R Deadpool thing where it's, violent, or like Logan is just really not even a comic book movie. No. I don't know. I like all the characters. I think some of the casting is like I said, just fucking absolutely brilliant. I like what action that we do get. And that's about it. I'm gonna give it a 6.3.
6.3 for Sean.
6.3.
Man, I love what X-Men is. The definition of nostalgia for me. It's the cartoons, the comic books, and I love so much that they started this and started making them, and it's given us so much cool stuff. I don't know if we have Deadpool and Wolverine without this movie.
Yeah.
It was our conversation of, I think somebody said that in the Little Lebowskis, of like Necessary Roughness making all these other movies happening, and this did it. But yeah, it's not great. Like, I don't know how often I'll go back to watch this one, but I am excited to go watch the rest of them now. Like, it sent me back on the path to be like, yeah, let's go. I want to go down the line. I still really like this. I love the franchise, and they did a great job, but it was not like, it's not as good as I thought it was, but it's still decent. I'm going to go higher than you guys. I'm going to go 7.4 on this one. We got to hear what Josh Miller has to say. He says, upon rewatch, it's still a good movie, although it's showing its age. Certainly not in a bad way, in a 24-year-old way. I'm certainly not saying we wouldn't have the comic book movies we have had up until now without it, but it showed that other characters well done with a big budget can make for a good movie. It had all the major characters, which was the smart and safe decision. I think this movie was nothing but a bunch of safe choices. I would have liked to see more ancillary characters, even in smaller parts. In my honest opinion, while Wolverine is clearly a big part of the X-Men series, this movie really put him center stage, and I think most of that has to do with Hugh Jackman's performance, and the dialogue was well done, especially the banter between Cyclops and Wolverine, which did harken harken back to the animated series. While it has its downfalls, it's overall a great movie, trying to find its stable footing in a mostly unknown film genre. It's been a while since I last watched it, mainly because we got so many X-Men movies and X-Men spin-offs that are easily better. Not to mention all the other comic book movies in the past quarter century that overall were better and in many ways more rewatchable. It's very easy to say without the success of this and the wild success of Spider-Man 2 years later, we definitely wouldn't be where we are today. They have made some poor choices in the genre since X-Men. It is impossible to deny that comic book movies have dominated the landscape. My modern day score falls, but not by a lot, a straight up 7. It's a movie. So that is a 6.95 for us kids, which on a modern day scale is going to take us to a tie with Son-in-Law and Scrooged in the 107th spot.
Okay.
Okay.
Just nice
to note,
holiday movie.
Just to note, Bloodsport is better than this.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
And Grumpy Old Men not as good.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that easy, guys. This is where we come up with it. It's gospel from here on out. This is where it lives, and you can just pay attention to it or not. I don't care.
How about that?
Yeah, you can pay attention to it.
No.
Do it. Pay attention. We're right. You're wrong.
Well, we hope you enjoyed the episode. Thanks for being here, everybody. Tune in next week. It is time to go to Alien, and we are following that up with That Thing You Do.
Yeah.
Wowzers.
Also, if you're new to the podcast, go back this time last year. Tombstone.
Nice.
Gosh,
That's a fun one.
feels like that was just like last month. Thinking about when we recorded that.
It sure wasn't.
Good times.
That's when we brought up the fact that the little brother was like, "Oh boy, guys, gee, as sure as we should get a pool table."
You know what? When I grow up, I want a pool table in my house just like this one.
Oh, that was a fun episode. So go check that out.
Please do, guys. Thank you so much. We really do appreciate you guys listening in, subscribing on whatever podcast platform you're listening on, right? Hit the subscribe button. A lot of people don't even subscribe to podcasts that they listen to regularly. So please do us that solid. Leave us a review. Write us a review on Apple Podcasts, too. Social media at Confused Breakfast. Just search for Confused Breakfast anywhere on social media. TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, whatever you got. And by all means, check us out on YouTube because we're here in the YouTube studs, hanging out, doing the thing in real time. Check it out.
YouTube Studs. You can go to confusedbreakfast.com as well to see the merch that we have. You can get shirts. You can get your own prosthetics to build your own Mystique costume.
Whoa.
Nice.
Pretty sure you can get that there.
But you have
It's yellow, of course.
But it takes 9 hours to put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah, by yourself.
It's going to take some time. Confusedbreakfast.com as well. Why don't you spend some time there and see the ratings of the movies that we have covered. You can see Mike's ratings. You can see AJ's ratings. And you can see my ratings. That's me, Sean. You can see our executive producer's ratings as well as our ratings overall. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
Produced by the Upload Media Group in Cedar Rapids, Iowa. We got Brian on the controls. Learn more at uploadmediagroup.com, and we're on the Cloud 10 network of podcasts. Learn more at cloud10.fm. Goodbye.
Goodbye. See you, old friend.
Same
See
thing.
you, old friend.
Same thing as everything.